Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Caboose bringing you another video, and today what I got for you guys here is a bombshell. We got some massive news today regarding a new Marvel project that is potentially in development, and this comes from a very reliable source, so I'd say this is very likely to happen. We're gonna get into the nitty-gritty, but supposedly a Black Panther game is in development. We'll talk more about it in just a bit here. Before we do so, if just that concept gets you hyped up, if you are excited that a Black Panther game may be on the way soon, well then scroll down, hit that thumbs up button, share your excitement with me. Let's get the video to 1,500 likes. And you already know that I'm all over the Marvel games coverage here on this channel, so subscribe, turn on those notifications. You'll be immediately notified when a video goes live, and I'll keep you up to date on everything Marvel games related right here. And okay, let's jump into this now. Let's talk about this news. So we've heard for a little while now that apparently EA was developing a Marvel game, that they're working on something Marvel related. And I even made a video about whether or not it could be a fighting game, as there were some people out there that were reporting that it might be a fighting game that EA is working on. And you know, it made sense. EA has worked on Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects, which is kind of those arena style fighting games. And then they had a canceled fighting game that they were working on that was going to be a similar concept to Marvel Nemesis, but more comic booky. So everyone was speculating, and it made sense to speculate that the EA Marvel game was gonna be another fighting game potentially. Well, turns out that might not be the case. Jeff Grub, who is a pretty well-known leaker, somebody who definitely has good sources and has reported on stuff in the past that has come true, he was talking on his show this morning called Game Mess Mornings and reported this. Check this clip out.
There are more Marvel games in the works. You might be surprised to find out. Let's go through the details here. This comes from us here at Giant Bomb. The project is called Project Rainier, and that refers, I believe that refers to the mountain in Washington. We'll get to why that's relevant here in a second. It is a single-player game. It is in very early development, and the game starts with Black Panther being dead, and the player is going to take on the challenges of becoming the new Black Panther, and that seems to be the setup for the game. It is very likely being produced by the new Seattle studio that was founded by Monolith Productions vice president and studio head Kevin Stevens. So yes, this is an EA published game. They're going to go for that, and it does seem like right now, again, very early, they're looking at making this a big open world Black Panther game.
Yeah, that is some pretty huge news. Okay, so not only is there potentially a Black Panther game that's on the way, it is going to be open world, and it's going to feature the character of Black Panther being a mantle that you take up at the start of the game. So it sounds like maybe either T'Challa has passed away or something of that sort, and you, the player, will have a character that takes on the mantle of Black Panther. I'm not 100% sure how to feel about that aspect specifically, but an open world Black Panther game sounds incredibly promising to me. And I know some people out there, they're very skeptical. They're not 100% sure about the fact that this is going to be published by EA. They're not sure how to feel about that, and I totally understand where you're coming from. But the big important thing to mention here is that this is going to be a single player game. This is going to be a single player open world Black Panther game. It's not going to have any multiplayer components to it, and so I'm sure there aren't going to be a lot of opportunities for EA to implement microtransactions into this. And if you're still on the fence, if you're still not sure about EA being the publisher for this game, well, Jeff Grub had this to say that's honestly extremely promising. Check this out.
But I think this is one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this. When the Wakanda Forever trailer came out, I was like, oh, I remember hearing about this. Let me look a little bit closer. I got some more information. I was kind of like, okay, this is very early. What is the angle to sort of that makes sense talking about this? And it's very much, this is the continued transition at EA from being like, hey, everything needs to be a live service, to be like, oh wait, Jedi Fallen Order did very well. What if we could replicate that in other places? And that is exactly what they're going for with this Black Panther game.
I mean, there's really no way to deny it. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is without a doubt the best thing that EA has done in their partnership with Lucasfilm for Star Wars games. I mean, Battlefront and Battlefront 2 definitely did not live up to the hype, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding it. I have friends who ended up playing Battlefront 2 and stuck with it, and to be honest, they mentioned to me that after all was said and done, when the dust settled, it was a great game. When they got rid of all the microtransactions, and all the crap that was weighing that game down, it was a ton of fun for them to play. So honestly, Battlefront 2 ended up in a good spot, and then Jedi Fallen Order ended up being a great game. So maybe this is a new initiative at EA. Maybe they've taken enough crap from people online, and they're finally like, you know what? Okay, we made a really good single-player Star Wars game. Marvel has an incredible catalog of characters. Let's take Black Panther and kind of replicate the success we had with Jedi Fallen Order with that character and with that world. I am all for that, and it hypes me up so much, honestly, that more open world superhero games are being made, and Black Panther is a perfect character to do that with. I can't wait, especially if it's going to be set within Wakanda. Imagine the way that the game is going to look, how beautiful it could look, and the villains, the potential there. My goodness, I'm so excited. Sadly, it was mentioned that it's in early development, so this may have only recently just got the green light. I mean, Jeff Grub even said that a lot of the details that he's hearing here might have even just come from the pitch of the game. So a lot of this game is still being worked on and is in the very early stages, and we probably won't hear about it or even see it for a couple of years, which is sad, but if it is happening, well, then we're going to hear about it in a couple of years. Again, though, I'm not sure how to feel about the story setup. It's assumed that King T'Challa is the one who is dead at the beginning of the game, and we, the player, have to maybe create a character or something of that sort that then takes up the mantle of Black Panther. I'm not sure how to feel about that. I mean, some people have speculated that maybe it's King T'Chaka, but then it wouldn't make sense that T'Challa wouldn't be the one to then take the mantle of Black Panther, and instead it being just a created character. That wouldn't work, in my opinion. And I understand that maybe this is out of respect due to the passing of Chadwick Boseman, but I think that it makes more sense in the film side of things, in Marvel Studios and the MCU, for them to want to retire that character with Chadwick Boseman, but I don't know if we necessarily need to retire the character overall. I don't know. I don't want to be too insensitive to the subject here. Obviously, this is something that would be very hard to deal with, and I'd imagine creates a lot of conversation at both Marvel Games, at EA, and this new studio that's working on the game. But to be honest, I'm not sure there would have been that big of a problem if it would have just happened to be that you play as T'Challa and maybe there's some Easter egg or there's some sort of honoring of Chadwick Boseman within the actual game itself were it to come out in a couple of years. Who knows though, maybe when we actually get our hands on this game or we see it in action, the setup is something that makes sense, and maybe it's just something that was an idea, something that they wanted to play around with so that we can have like a create a character or something that involves us, the player, having our own personal stamp in this game. And I'll be honest, I am glad that if we are creating a character, that we still take up the mantle of Black Panther, and it isn't one of these create your own Marvel heroes open world games. I am so tired of that formula. I do not want to create a hero. I want to play as the heroes. And this seems to be like a happy medium. You know, you create a character, but you're still going to be Black Panther, and it's an open world Black Panther game with presumably a bunch of characters that are in that mythos. It just all sounds incredibly exciting. I could not be more hyped, honestly, to see this game in action, to see how it's going to look. And again, especially that this might be a new initiative that EA is taking on to try and work on more single player games, more story-driven, story-focused games, which completely contradicts that random ass tweet they put out a little while back. This is just good news is what I'm trying to get at the end of the day. And with that being said, now I want to kick it to you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Again, none of this is officially confirmed, so let's wait on all of that. But assuming that it is, because Jeff Grub is a pretty reliable source, let me know what you have to think about a potential open world Black Panther game in the comment section below. Does it excite you? Are you not sure about it? I want to hear what you guys have to say. And of course, if you enjoyed today's video, if you could consider hitting that thumbs up button, it would show your support, and I would really appreciate it. I'm Caboose, and you can click on screen to make your way to one of the other videos on the channel, or you can click my logo to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Those links are in the description. Drop a like if you enjoyed, leave a comment if you have an opinion, and subscribe if you're new. See you guys later.